What did they write? What do people on the internet think? What do these analysts online that you looked at, what do they think so far? Anybody find anything? Or did you come to your own conclusions? Was it the same? Nothing? Okay, I took a quick look. I found pretty much the same thing in each one, which is really unusual for Dickinson. I didn't find many people arguing about this. Most people, from a quick look, and I've looked before, and I really haven't found too much difference. They differ a little bit in the way they put it, but they all believe most people believe that this is about Dickinson. That she's writing about herself. And she's basically describing how she really feels. And maybe this is why she stays in her home for so long, and why she didn't succeed at school and other things, and why they reported she had emotional problems. And that she's holed herself up inside this house. Okay? And she's trying to explain the way she feels to someone who she's not even talking to. Because remember, she wrote these poems without giving them to anyone. Alright? But if she had to, she would say, "It wasn't death, for I stood up, and all the dead lie down." So I wasn't dead. I felt death, but it wasn't that. It wasn't night, for all the bells put out their tongues for noon. So it wasn't night because it was noontime and the bells were ringing. It was not frost, for on my flesh I felt Scirocco's crawl, nor fire, for just my marble feet could keep a chancel. So it wasn't all these four different things: death, night, frost, or fire. And yet, it tasted like them all. The figures I have seen said orderly for burial. I've seen people prepared to be buried. I've seen ceremonies for dead people. And I've seen what they do. And it reminded me of mine. So all these feelings I'm feeling aren't death, aren't fire, aren't frost, aren't all these things, but they remind me of all of those things, plus my own funeral. It feels like I'm dying. As if my life were shaven and fitted to a frame. And in one of the analysis that I read said, it's almost like someone took all the parts of her life and forced them into a coffin. Forced them into a frame. A coffin, okay? Maybe not a picture frame, but maybe a frame for a coffin. A box you put a dead body in. Right? And could not breathe without a key, and it was like a midnight sun. And she's saying maybe like it was like one of those things where you couldn't open up. I couldn't breathe unless you had a key to open it up for me. You know, a lot of people, when they have anxiety or panic or stress or something like that, their hearts go and they just wish it would slow down. They think they're having a heart attack. A significant number of people who go to hospitals for heart attacks, when they do their pulse and everything, their heart is absolutely fine. And it's just that they have a lot of anxiety. Something really bad is going on in their life. There's a huge stress or something. And she's describing this back in 1800s before doctors knew too much about that. She's describing this almost like an anxiety attack. And this is the thing that keeps people, even to this day, that keeps them in their house and doesn't let them go out and do things that they could possibly do that were wonderful. Now we have medicines and treatments and talking ways, therapy and things like that can help these people and overcome that. She didn't have it. She was all by herself. And yet she could write. Then she says, and could not breathe out a key, and 'twas like midnight, when everything that ticked, so it was like midnight, when everything that ticked had stopped. Now remember, it was the daytime when the bells were ringing and things were moving and her heart was beating. But she said at the same time, it was like midnight when everything that ticked, clocks, anything had stopped. Everything stopped. People are sleeping. Everybody is stopping what they're doing. Animals are asleep. Okay? But she's still awake. That's what it felt like. And she says then, or grisly frosts, then she starts describing and space stares all around. There's just all this empty space. Or grisly frost, or really cold, like autumn mornings, or the repeal of the beating ground. Okay, everything is cold and dark, and there's a repeal. Repeal means the reverse. Yes. Okay, so a repeal of the beating ground means the beating ground is like where you hear the animals and the horses and the people walking, and life all around you. She's feeling so bad that if that's even existence, it's pushing it away, the reverse of it. It's repealing it. She doesn't feel any of that. It's space. And fire, and fear, and darkness, and all these things that make her heart beat and yet not beat, that she's stuck. But mostly, it feels like chaos. Like she has no control, stopless, just keeps going. Cool, without a chance or a spar, without something to guide her, for her to hold on to, or something that will help her move, a chance basically to hold on to, or a spar that will guide the boat. Some way for her to control her life. She doesn't have that. She has nothing she can hold on to control her life. She's using the image of a boat to do this. Or even a report of land, or even someone else that could tell her it's going to be okay. Land's over there. It's going to be okay. You're just a little bit far away and you're going to hit land. As long as you just hold on a little longer. She doesn't have that. She has no hope. No one's telling her to hold on. To justify her despair. Okay? And most people, it's pretty much universal, agree that this is about her. This is not about some it thing or another person, or maybe if this happened or something like that. This is her describing to someone that she doesn't know how she feels about life and how she feels most of the time and why she probably stays inside and why she writes the way she writes and how pretty much horribly afraid and hopelessly lonely and without hope she is. And it's one of the main things that endears, meaning makes people really more than like love or care about Emily Dickinson, even though we never were able to meet her, and we never, because she can write things like this. If you felt like this, could you tell anybody this dramatically how you felt? It's amazing. It's just amazing the way she can take these words and use them, and the pictures and the metaphors and all these different things she uses to describe this. And this is what draws people to her in English and American literature, is this kind of thing. On top of all that, to feel like that and to still be able to have such a unique perspective and a positive perspective in many cases on many of the different things in life, including death, is amazing. One of the things is this: she might welcome death. If she feels this bad about her life, about the way, if that's the way she physically feels, she might welcome death. And when you read a lot of her other poems, as we're going to do, you're going to see there's a theme about her. And death not being that big scary thing. Death is not something she thinks is scary. She thinks it's just part of nature. And there might be a part of her that says, I welcome death. Because death will probably help her get rid of this horrible, horrible feeling. Okay? I don't think she's advocating suicide because she's Christian. And Christians believe that if you commit suicide, you go to hell. So she has to put up with this horrible, horrible, horrible feeling until nature has decided it's her time to go. And what was it that killed her? I think it was kidney disease, right? I don't remember. I think it was kidney disease that finally got her when she was 55 years old. Okay, so she didn't have to wait too long. But kidney disease can be pretty painful. But I think she welcomed it, probably. In any case, if you ever feel sad, please read this. And you will realize that you're nowhere close to Emily Dickinson. Okay? If you ever get that close, please come talk to me. And I will talk you down. I promise you. Okay? I'll give you a hug or whatever you need. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. I'll do whatever it takes to make you happy, okay? You don't need to feel like that, okay? But you can feel just how she felt, how bad she felt, and at a time when they didn't have doctors and analysts and stuff. It's just amazing. Just amazing.
Reminds me of a song that we have called Fade to Black. It's all a kind of song that means suicide.
Oh, yeah.
And it represents the same, just the same feeling of feeling hopeless.
And here's the thing about suicide, unlike a lot of things, even this right here, it's probably not justified. She probably has a chemical imbalance in her brain. That's all it is. There's no, she's had tragedies and people die around her and stuff like that, but nothing to really make her feel that bad, I don't think. Some people argue, yes, she's had a lot of bad things that happened to her, but I honestly think that, other people survive that kind of thing. Why can't she? Especially at that time. People died very, quickly and young and often. Children died all the time after birth. Okay, it was just a hard environment to live in. In any case, with that positive, beautiful, wonderful poem, I leave you, and I'll see you tomorrow. You need to hurry up to the where's the office? Where's the building 1? Or chamber 1 or whatever. It's not KTV? Is it behind it or to the next one? You're supposed to go there today. That was Miss Claire just sent that message. I have to go there too. So.
耳朵特别小。